and open.
So
Is that file opening taking so much time?
So opened it. So,
Yarla, overall, having Minitab, how many of you are working parallelly? Give me some signal, maybe reaction or come on video. I could see Mr. Kamalakannan. I think Alok, you are having? Not having. Okay. And that means that I've done nothing, right? Just go to file, go to open worksheet, and then sample data folder. You should remember the file name. That's important, right? The data is cable. So cable.mtw, and then you give open, it will open. For me, it is not opening because it is already open. For you, that will open. Clear? Okay, keep saying yes so that I will move forward. Is that clear how to get the file? And take notes appropriately. Done. Now for this data, you see here, there are a lot of data here, maybe some 100 data, I believe. Yes, 100 data is available. And now let me do some basic stat work. So go to stat, go to basic stat, display stat, basic stat, display descriptive statistics. Now this window pops up. Come here, variables, select C1. C1 is diameter. Now, what are all the statistics you want? Do you see so many statistics inside?
yes, sir.
I know mean, I know standard error of mean, I know standard deviation. Do you know variance? I know. Do you know trimmed mean? I know. Summation, I know. Minimum, I know. Maximum, I know. Range, I know. And n non-missing, n missing. Okay, n non-missing means number of data it will count. N missing means no column where the data is not available. And n total, cumulative total. So many things are there. And first quartile, median, third quartile, interquartile range, mode, and whatever is known to you, you can select and you can use it for your decision making. Now everything is done for you. Minitab has done the job for you. Is that clear? You have done nothing. You have only asked for it and Minitab is throwing out. But what is important is you should know what each of these metrics talk. This is called descriptive statistics. What is descriptive? You are describing what this data is saying. You are describing. The data is telling me this. And so this is called descriptive statistics. If you use the information to predict the population, that is called inferential statistics. There are two things. Descriptive statistics, another one is inferential statistics. If you want to understand what your data is telling, that is descriptive statistics. If you want to use the data and predict the future or predict the population, that is called inferential statistics. All right. So now this is understood. And now go to stat.
sorry, sir. Sorry for interrupting. Can we download this on the phone? Because
no, it won't work in phone. It won't work in phone. And RK sir will be equipping you with the Excel. Similar thing you can do it in Excel also. You can rely on him, but I will be equipping you with Minitab.
Okay.
So go to stat, basic stat, and then there is one thing called graphical summary. Click that. Again, come to the variable. Again, select the C1 and then just give OK. Now it is plotting a graph. What is this graph now? This is what is this called? A histogram. This graph is histogram. Look at the x-axis. This is diameter, different diameter, right? And now look at the graph and tell me whether your data is normally distributed. Is it looking like a bell?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. So this helps you to understand whether your data is normally distributed or not.
Yes.
There is a tool here which again reconfirms that p-value. If the p-value is more than 0.05, your data is normal. That will be taught to you in the analysis phase. And see here, little more information is available. But my intention now is only to understand whether my data is normally distributed or not. Done. So something you learned now, from Minitab, and you can plot the graph also now. See here, when I go to graph, there is a box plot. I want this kind of box plot. I give okay. This is the thing. Again, I give okay. My box plot is drawn. Clear? So there are certain way Minitab can definitely help you during your project. We'll again come back to Minitab for further discussion. So now we move on to the presentation mode. Hope my screen is visible, slide is visible now, right? So step number 6, measuring baseline performance. So those who have done Greenbelt with us, you might definitely know half of it, but few things will be a value addition now. Yield, first pass yield, throughput yield, DPMO, CPCPK, CPM, PPPK, and you can also imagine PPM here. And then in the process, you will also understand the difference between defect and defectives. And if you know DPMO, you will automatically know PPM, parts per million, and within variation and between variation. This much you will be familiarizing now. So these are the topics: yield, DPMO, PPM, and then process capability and process performance indices. Process capability indices are CPCPK, process performance indices are PPPK. So capability measured in different level. All of them are connected to sigma level. When your sigma level is high, how will be your yield? Can somebody answer this question? When my sigma level is high, your yield will be high or low?
High.
High. The success rate, right? The yield will be high when my sigma level is high. When my sigma level is high, what will happen to my PPM and DPMO?
Less.
Will go down. Very good. When my CPCPK improves, or let me ask this way, when sigma level increases, what will happen to CPCPK?
Everything increased.
It will increase. Very good, right? We'll understand everything in detail. So what is yield? Let us consider a process. We give input and inventory or no input is 100. Now process is carried out, and during the process, 10 units gets rejected. You know why it is rejected? Because the item has become a defective item. What is a defective item? You cannot correct it. You cannot correct it. Something went wrong. Now it is rejected as defective. So how much will be the output you can expect now?
90 units.
90. Now your yield is 90%. Now your yield is 90%. Output divided by input. This is traditional way of measuring capability. This is called traditional yield. All of us should be knowing it. What I want you to calculate is, as a black belt, as a green belt, you must prefer to calculate first pass yield. What is first pass yield? What is the chance by which your process can convert all the input into acceptable output in the first run itself? There should not be any rework. See here, 100 units input. Now the process is happening. Now 30 units are reworked. You know what is reworked? A defect has happened and you rectified it. You are not rejecting the item.
So
The
it is
defect has
acceptable.
happened, you rectified it. This is called a rework. But 10 units, you are not able to do anything. You have rejected it. 10 units, you are not able to do anything. So you have rejected it. Now, how much will be your output?
90.
Output will be 90. You're right. But when I calculate the yield again, traditional yield is formula is output by input. Once again, it is 90%. But my first pass yield is actual output minus rework. Why should I subtract the rework? You are doing rework because a failure has happened. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You need to understand the failure. You need to recognize the failure and accept the failure. So I reduce the rework. So rework is 30. So 90 actual output minus 30, the resulting is 60%. What is the 60%? First pass yield. what you thought as 90% is actually not 90%. It is only 60%. Your people are overutilizing your resources. They are increasing your operational cost and giving you a result of 90%. So don't rely on traditional yield. Rather, start believing the first pass yield. Your focus should be to reduce or eliminate the rejection and as well as reduce and eliminate the rework also. Clear? And now, process will not be as simple as I am showing. If I ask you to explain your story in the company, you might take the entire training. You will have so many processes, isn't it? Always your process will be complex. So your output is produced step by step and then the final output comes. So process will be always complex. Let us take a slightly complex one. Input is 100. Process 1, maybe a machining, and process 2, maybe some welding, and process 3, maybe assembly, and then it keeps on going. Process 1, your first pass yield is 90%. It means your reworks and defective both are now considered. Both put together is 10% and the remaining is yield. Similarly, first pass yield of second process 80%, first pass yield of third process is 70%. Now, can somebody tell me what will be the net yield or overall yield on the right side? How many products might come out? Can somebody tell me? 100 is the input. Now, how much will come out here on the right side?
70.
70?
70.
So it will be a multiplication as it's written there, 50.4.
Yes. You can't, you can't expect 70% here. It will be a product of these three. First pass yield 1, first pass yield 2, first pass yield 3. That means your overall yield, net yield is going to be only 50.4 units will come out as accepted. Why? Because you lost something here. Again, in the second stage, you lost something here. Again, third stage, you lost something here. Let us imagine like this. You all undergone yellow belt training.
But sir, just got one question in case there is a rework that has happened. So for example, my first pass yield would be 50.4, but my output would be more than that because there would be rework that would be done and everything. So the output,
Correct.
the ultimate output is going to be more. It
You're
is
right.
just the first
You're right.
pass.
You're right. You're right. But I am matured enough not to look at just the output. I will look at only the first pass yield. That is why we discussed it. Hereafter, always your output should be first pass yield only. Try to improve the first pass yield, not the overall yield. You know why? Your efficiency will be going
Efficiency
down.
will going down. Yes.
You might be effective, but your efficiency will go down. I want both. You know why I want both? I want my customer to be happy. I want my business also to be happy.
To be happy. Yes.
Your customer will be happy with your effectiveness. Your business will be happy with your efficiency. So we should not compromise. Clear?
Yes.
And it is like, like for example, you undergo yellow belt and then you undergo green belt and then you come here for the black belt. Only when you qualify in the yellow belt, you will be allowed to sit in the green belt. Then you will be allowed to sit in the black belt. It is something like that. Imagine in yellow belt, the success rate is 90%. If 100 people join the program, only 90 people will sit in the green belt. Am I right? And
Yes,
now
sir.
what is the success rate in the green belt? 80%. 80% of the 90 is how much? 72. Only 72 candidate will come to the black belt. Clear? And now in the black belt, success rate is 70%. What is 70% of 72? Probably the 50 candidate will pass out as black belt. Clear? So 100 people joined our program, 50 people have become black belt. What is most important? Everybody would like to pass the exam in the first attempt. Am I correct? Are there anybody here who want to appear 2-3 times and get your certificate? Nobody here. So all of us want to be, effective as well as efficient, and the same thing is applicable in your work environment also. So throughput yield is something which you must multiply all the first pass yield and get it. Clear. So what I do is this, probably the gems, we will do it post lunch. Now I just skip this. We'll definitely go to this in the afternoon. Now let us go to CPC.